Like and subscribe right now, or you're going to have bad luck for the rest of the week. Nobody will disagree with the statement that our planet has breathtaking and awe-inspiring sceneries all over the globe. There are many beautiful places to travel to, but such beautiful places aren't the ones we're talking about today. Today, we are concentrating on the exact opposite. We're telling you about places you should stay away from. Doesn't this sound exciting? Let's get into it. Number 10. Bottomless lakes. Our first entry on this list scared me when I first read about it, and for good reason. Many people are afraid of deeper waters because you never know what may be lurking down there. Even more terrifying is wondering if there is no bottom to the deep, murky water. It is a lot less scary if you can see the bottom, since you know precisely what happens down there. However, these bottomless lakes in New Mexico aren't actually bottomless. They only seem bottomless due to their deep green-blue color. There have been reports through the years of swimmers and divers being sucked up into an underwater stream, never to be seen again. These tales also told of an object going missing and then showing up in the Gulf of Mexico later on, even though it would take you 9.5 hours by car to even get close to the Gulf of Mexico. Understandably, scientists have ruled out the possibility of an underwater stream stretching that far. Many legends also tell of monsters in these 9 lakes, from a giant scary turtle guarding the bottomless waters to an octopus man and a whitish dragon. Though the lakes aren't bottomless, out of the 9 lakes, you can only swim in one of them. Number 9. Black Mountain. This impressive mountain can be found in Queensland, Australia, and is one of the mountains on Earth that you should never climb. The Black Mountain, or Kalkajaka as the locals refer to it, is a sacred site for the indigenous people living in and around the area. According to legend, a long time ago, there was a war of clan groups and spirits at the site. When you see this majestic mountain in front of you, you may feel tempted to climb it and explore, but you should never even set a single foot there. Not only is it disrespectful to the indigenous people living there, as you are walking on sacred ground, but it is also said that you will be forever haunted by spirits afterwards. As if that wasn't enough to put you off the idea of climbing the mountain, here's another fact that we have for you. This mountain seems to act the same way as the Bermuda Triangle. Herds of cattle and even some people have disappeared along this sacred site. They were never found or heard from again. To quote one of the clan descendants that live near there, "Don't muck around with the spirits." Number 8. Hoska Castle Pit. Like our last 2 entries, this one also hosts mythical beings haunting the area and, of course, the castle itself. Now, from the outside, the castle may look like an ordinary building, and you would be correct to think so. However, this castle has quite horrifying tales surrounding its history. They are scary enough to send a shiver down everybody's back. Hoska Castle can be found roughly 50 kilometers or 31 miles north of Prague, and is one of the best preserved castles from its period. The castle was built above a large hole in the ground that is described as a gateway to hell. Not a very nice name if you ask us. However, according to the tales attached to the place, the name seems to be accurate. When the construction on this castle began, prisoners that had a death sentence were offered a pardon if they agreed to be lowered into the hole and report back on what they had seen. When the first person was lowered into the cavity via rope, he started screaming after just a few seconds. When they heaved him back to the surface, he looked like he had aged 30 years. His hair had turned gray and wrinkles had appeared on his face. Better be safe than sorry and stay away from something that is said to be haunted, don't you agree? Number 7. North Sentinel Island. The North Sentinel Island is among one of the most unexplored islands in the world. The tribe that lives there are called the Sentinelese and are hunter-gatherers. Their hunting methods have not evolved beyond the Stone Age, and they do not engage in agriculture to grow their plants. This island is not permitted to be approached, as the Sentinelese do not appear to be very interested in communicating with the world. They also turn hostile to anyone approaching the island. In 2018, a Christian missionary approached fishers around the area, begging to sail him towards the island in hopes of converting the Sentinelese to Christianity. A few days later, people of the tribe were seen dragging his body. The next day, his body was found on the shore. Attempts of retrieving his body were made, but the retrieval party eventually gave up. The Indian Navy patrols the waters to make sure no one tries to go onto the island. Number 6. The Darien Gap. The Darien Gap is a hell of a place, with a focus on hell. There is quite a long list of why you shouldn't visit this place, but today we will only name a couple for you. We would love to tell you something only slightly dangerous first, but that's almost impossible to do. So let us start with the spiders then. The Brazilian wandering spiders can quickly send you to the hospital, or, in the worst case scenario, can cause death in 2 to 6 hours. The next dangerous creature would be the black scorpions. They can ruin your day if their stinger catches you off guard. Next, the spiked chunga palm trees have long 20-centimeter or 8-inch long spikes that are covered in bacteria, leaving you with an infected wound and spine still stuck in it. There are also botflies that lay larvae beneath your skin via a mosquito's help, bombs from the Cold War that have not yet detonated, ticks that can give you diseases days or even weeks from the nearest hospital, and drug dealers making life hell for anybody that comes through, as they want to keep their business secret. Number 5. Isla de Camita Grande. Isla de Camita Grande, also known as Snake Island, is definitely not a place you want to visit, ever. As the name states, Snake Island is the home to one of the most dangerous snakes on the planet, the golden lancehead vipers. The island has the densest population of snakes anywhere in the world, and setting foot on this piece of land means almost certain death. Some said that pirates first brought the snakes to protect their gold. Today, though, it is much more believed that rising water levels cut off the snakes' way to get back onto the mainland. On this island, the snakes found no ground-level prey, so they had to slither up into the trees to find food. Oh, and find it they did. From that point onward, the snake's venom evolved into a deadlier version, killing birds they bit almost immediately. Just another side fact, their venom can also melt human skin, which should be another sign to never set foot on this Snake Island. Number 4. Red zones. There are a couple of red zones all over the planet, but for today we are only talking about Zone Rouge, a chain through northeastern France which the French government secured after World War I. The area is completely littered with unexploded shells. Many of them are gas shells, grenades, and rusty ammunition. The soil in these areas was heavily polluted with all kinds of harmful substances, such as lead, mercury, chlorine, arsenic, and even human and animal remains. The Zone Rouge was defined just after the war as completely devastated. Damage to properties, 100%. Damage to agriculture, 100%. Impossible to clean. Human life, impossible. And even though many unexploded shells are still recovered each year, at the current rate, it could still take 300 to 700 years to clean the area up thoroughly. This is definitely not a spot you would want to visit. Number 3. Ramree Island. Ramree Island is a top contender for the most dangerous island on the planet, and for good reason. This island near the coast of Myanmar has a terrifying secret to hide, which resulted in the death of hundreds of people. In 1945, British soldiers drove Japanese soldiers deep into the mangrove forest during their battle. What none had realized was that the mangrove was home to a large number of saltwater crocodiles, which is the largest of its kind. National Geographic describes them as an animal most likely to eat a human. Now, you can figure out for yourself what really happened deep in the forest of Ramree Island. It is said that roughly 1,000 soldiers entered the woods on that fateful day, but only 500 soldiers escaped. The others were eaten. A terrifying thought. That terrible day has since been added into the Guinness World Record books as most number of fatalities in a crocodile attack. Number 2. Enuitak Atoll. Enuitak Atoll is an excellent example of how humans ruin the landscape and nature around them. This atoll in the western Pacific Ocean is a large circle of roughly 40 small islands, which are also called islets. Quite cute, isn't it? During World War II in 1944, U.S. forces took over the area from the Japanese, converting it into a naval base. The people that lived there were evacuated to other atolls after the decision was made to turn it into a testing ground for atomic weapons. To this day, you can still see impact craters. These atomic tests were held from 1948 to 1956, but the island was declared safe in 1980 after the radioactive soil on the top was removed. The inhabitants were given a chance to return, but if you know how radioactivity works, you know this wouldn't end well. Their crops were too severely contaminated. To protect the population, the people had to be removed again. Nowadays, the atoll is considered to be more radioactive than Chernobyl and Fukushima. A very dangerous vacation spot to never visit, no matter how beautiful it looks from above. Number 1. Area 51. Our top 10 list wouldn't be complete without mentioning the famous Area 51, a secret military base in southern Nevada. Until 2013, this site wasn't even officially acknowledged by the CIA. So, not only was it kept hidden for so long, but nobody knows what actually goes on there, unless you work for the government. Due to this reason, many speculations and conspiracy theories have surfaced. The most likely assumption is that this area is used to develop and test weapons for the military. Still, other views are that this area is used to research aliens and extraterrestrial objects like UFOs, or figure out how the government could control the weather. None of this matters because unless you work for a top-tier government institution, your chances of getting into Area 51 are 0. Well, what did you think about our list? Is there any other places you would have added to this list? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to our channel for more interesting content like this. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next video.